Hello, this is our presentation over our group observational project, Mask Wearing Behavior in General and Health Food Stores. This presentation was created by Jackie Cook, Jorjanna Gonzales, Ricia Kincade, and Kelsey. Our institution is the University of Texas at Tyler. Our study explored the contrast between mask wearing in regular grocery stores, which we proposed to be stores such as Brookshire's, Walmart, and Superfoods, and health food stores, which we proposed to be Trader Joe's and Whole Foods. Why should people be concerned with this phenomenon? Wearing a mask has become an essential part of life through the course of the COVID-19 pandemic. Not only are masks mandatory in most places, but they have become paramount in battling the deadly disease. Shoppers in particular should be concerned with this topic, as the place in which they choose to shop for essentials like food and water can either be beneficial or detrimental to their health. If shoppers in a regular grocery store wear their mask less often and obstruct the mask while shopping, then people who are also in the store become more susceptible to acquiring the virus. If people in health food stores wear their masks more often and do not obstruct the mask, then shopping for everyone becomes more safe. After further research and diving into studies that explored similar concepts as our study, we were able to find some potential parallels between them. With these parallels, we predicted that people who visit health food stores wear their masks more often than those who visit regular grocery stores. This was plausible to us because on average, you find that health food stores are found in more urban populated cities, whereas general grocery stores can be found more often in rural, smaller populated towns. The operational definitions are as follows. Obstructing the mask position would be described as whenever an individual pulls their mask below their nose. Not wearing a mask would be described as when someone completely removes their mask from their face while in the stores. Wearing a mask is when someone wears the mask the entire time in the store without obstructing its normal placement. We used event sampling as our method of collection. The stores are changing for each of the observations, but we test the customer's behavior within the store. We observe their behaviors when it comes to wearing masks in various health, food, and grocery stores. It was imperative that we used randomization in our observation concerning the time in which we were at the stores. In order to do this, we took a look at the times that the prospective stores were open and numbered every hour. We then used a randomizing generator to choose which times we would observe at the store. Each store had varying hours that they were open, so we did this for each store respectively. We then created a schedule for our team of observers to refer to. The observers would enter the store at their respective hour and stay until they were able to observe 40 people in a particular store. They would then exit the store, and that would complete data collection for that specific store. We decided to construct a checklist in order to record our findings while in the store. We constructed a checklist with several rows labeled with characteristics of shoppers and mask behavior that we intended to observe. Above, you can see the characteristics we chose to pay attention to. These included things from gender to any mask movement performed by the shopper. We recorded these characteristics for each of the 40 shoppers. With the use of a checklist, we were able to converge our findings earlier to ensure that our transfer of data was not obstructed. We used the systems Jamovi and Excel to evaluate our data. Our participants were regular grocery shoppers entering and exiting health food stores and general grocery stores. We used an unobstructive method, naturalistic observation, to gather our findings, so our participants did not know that they were being observed. We made sure that the participants' privacy was protected by observing without confrontation. The behaviors that we observed were ethical because wearing masks is something that the majority of people are participating in right now for safety measures. Our plans were COVID-19 safe because we will be maintaining a safe distance, wearing a mask, and refraining from any contact. The means for the two types of stores are very similar. health food stores have a mean of 84.33, and general food stores have a mean of 82.33. The standard deviation for health food stores is 4.73 and 7.63 for general food stores. Our t-test results showed no significant difference between the amount of people who wore masks and the two types of stores. The p-value from the t-test is equal to 0.72. The degrees of freedom, which is 4, and the t-statistic is equal to 0.39. We got the same results when conducting a chi-square test of independence. There was not a significant difference to be shown between the two types of stores. The p-value is 0.610, which makes it greater than the alpha, 0.05. Because the p-value is larger than the alpha, we do not reject the null hypothesis. Inevitably, the people who visit health food stores did not wear masks more often than the people who visit general grocery stores. The number of shoppers in health food stores and general food stores who wore masks upon arrival are the same for the two store types. The number of people's departure while wearing masks in the two different store types are only a few numbers different from one another. The numbers are very similar for those who wore their masks incorrectly while visiting the two store types. From these graphs, we can understand that the type of grocery store had little to no effect on mask wearing behavior. Based on our observations, we found that there was not any significant difference between the amount of mask-wearing behavior at the health food and general grocery stores. However, we did notice a significant difference in the mask-wearing behaviors of men and women. Of the two sexes, women more often than men wore their masks when arriving and were more likely, if they had worn a mask going into the building, to be wearing one when departing. This held true for either store type. Along with this, younger adults, late teens to 30s, as well as older adults ranging from late 70s to older, wore their masks more than middle-aged adults, those in their 40s to 50s. We believe there to be some reasons why we did not find the results we expected to find when beginning our experiment. We believe that some aspects that affected our results were the rushes that we didn't anticipate, which are normal occurrence for grocery stores, and the mask mandate lift was also an important factor. More people were out and about during the days leading up to the lift for various reasons. For our limitations, here are the things that we now know we did incorrectly. There were only 2 or 3 of us available to do our observations at the time. Of those 3, we could not do these observations in groups to protect our inter-rater reliability or our internal validity. In addition to this, the times a day available for us to observe left us susceptible to observation bias. This is due to the multiple rushes that are wont to happen throughout the day at these establishments. Now, as for the unexpected occurrences, the mask mandate. When we planned our observation days, it was well before Governor Abbott announced that he was lifting the mask mandate, which was due to be lifted in our observation days. We dealt with these issues to the best of our abilities. We had 2 of our available team members observe the same location but on separate days at roughly the same time of day and for roughly the same length of time. This was to help bolster our internal validity of our experiment. Another measure we employed to improve our internal validity was that we planned out and made sure that we all knew the parameters of the variables we were looking for. As far as how we believe this affected our data, we believe that the mask mandate being so near and many locations already putting its lift into effect had the most effect on our endeavor. However, it can be argued that those that were wearing the mask faithfully before the mandate was lifted would still be wearing it faithfully afterwards. According to our results, our initial hypothesis was incorrect. We hypothesized that there would be a great difference in the number of people who wear their masks inside health food stores and in general stores. To our surprise, there was not a significant difference between mask wearers of the 2 types of stores. As for references, we picked out 3 different sources. We picked one from Heischer, we picked one from Palmer, and we picked one from Hearn at various times throughout the year, and we deemed these three to be the closest to what we were looking for in our hypothesis and our general project.